How big a deal do you think this is for Top Gear and for Clarkson?
I think it's a massive deal. I mean, the BBC is, as they say, in deep crisis now, because this isn't just, you know, a presenter of a little programme that's got into a bit of trouble. The Top Gear over the years has generated hundreds of millions of pounds for the BBC. Jeremy Clarkson is the figurehead of that programme. He is Top Gear. It looks as if this time he may have gone too far. If Top Gear loses Jeremy Clarkson, it will plunge it into a world of trouble.
He has been on a final warning for a while now. The Radio Times, we don't know whether this is true, but the Radio Times is a good and reliable source. He's saying he punched someone. I mean, given the position he was in, how can he possibly do that?
Well, you have to wonder, he must have got jolly cross or wanted to be fired. I mean, ITV are wanting, they're developing a car-based panel show, I understand. So sort of,
are you suggesting a conspiracy theory?
Well, you know, there are other potential homes for Mr. Clarkson than on the BBC, and we saw with Jonathan Ross that when he behaved very badly and was effectively fired by the BBC, he ended up on the other side quite quickly.
Well, yes, and how do you think he would feel about potentially losing his job? How important do you think this has been to him?
I think, as Neil suggests, there'll be a home for him at some other channel. Probably ITV would snap him up. But I think he'll be devastated by this. I mean, apart from the fact that Top Gear has become his spiritual home, it's made him an absolute fortune. He's making millions a year out of it. So there's an income issue here. But of course, both him and the BBC, due to the various fracas that he's been involved in over the years, have steered themselves into a position where they've got nowhere else to go. You know, last time they said this is his final warning. That was with the N-word row. And then he wrote in his column in The Sun, I have been given categorically my last warning. So I don't see what can come of this except his dismissal.
I mean, I have to admit, I'm not a regular viewer of Top Gear, but when I watch it, I do admire him as a professional. I mean, he is absolutely brilliant. It is a brilliant show, if you like that sort of thing.
He's a great presenter. Where I might diverge from Kevin a bit is that I think the show will continue. And a lot of the time, TV executives think we must keep the talent. And the BBC were very keen on keeping Jonathan Ross during the Ross Brand crisis.
I mean, the other shows two are talented, but they don't have the personality or the force. Yeah.
Well, not yet. I mean, when Adrian Bleakley and Charles and Christine Bleakley left the One Show, that was supposed to be a big crisis for the One Show, and the One Show just continued and is as popular as it ever was.
I mean, Neil's right. I mean, I wasn't suggesting that they'll get rid of Top Gear. Top Gear will continue purely because of the amount of money it generates, and it is arguably, this is the 22nd series, it's arguably the BBC's most successful brand and programme of all time. They're not going to ditch it because one guy lives, but it will be incalculably damaged by the loss of Jeremy Clarkson. He epitomises everything that programme's about.
And Kevin, I think you've met him, haven't you?
Well, actually, I was there the last time he threw a punch. 2004, the Press Awards, when he decked, he tried to deck my then editor, Piers Morgan.
Piers Morgan, I should say, has tweeted a picture saying, I'm right behind you, and it's a picture of Clarkson going like that, and then behind him is the young Piers Morgan going like that.
Piers has generously put himself forward for the job, by the way, already.
But knowing him a little bit, would you say that he's very much as you see him on screen? I mean, or is he playing a persona to a certain extent?
No, I think with Jeremy, I think that, I mean, I don't profess to be his best friend, but I think what you see is what you get, and that's his charm, and that's also his big problem. I mean, he doesn't really act up for, you know, he doesn't play the game in real life. And don't forget, culturally, Top Gear has sort of set itself against modern PC values. So in a way...
Well, it's UKIP TV.
Yeah, well, they're already saying he'll either be the candidate for Kensington or he'll join UKIP. But they deliberately walk on eggshells, and I'm afraid, you know, this has got them into too much trouble.
And of course, we don't know the details at all. There's an investigation going on. He's just been suspended at this stage. But if he were to walk, what do you think, Neil, would happen to him next?
Well, I think they would. It depends what he's done, because obviously there's a difference between doing something offensive and committing a crime. If he's really hurt somebody by punching them, then of course he might have to go away and serve a bit of penance. If it's more as the BBC said in its statement, a fracas, where there was a bit of a scuffle between two people on a TV set, then I think there probably will be a bidding war for him between ITV and Sky. Don't forget that ITV, as of the next football season, have lost their Champions League rights, and ITV are expressly trying to get shows at the moment that will appeal more to male viewers. Well, who appeals more to male viewers than Jeremy Clarkson?
Well, I think that the BBC's statement, which said no one else was involved, was as good as saying, this is it, he's gone too far.
Well, they said nobody else was
two
suspended.
people must have been involved.
They said nobody else has been suspended.
Nobody else has been suspended.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.